Lowry, I think like to me, like they just need to go ahead and trade Lowry. He's still decent. He's a decent starting point guard, but he's not better than VanVleet. He's not better than Siakam. He's the third best player on that team. If you can trade him and pick up some assets, if you can go like trade him to Miami, go get like a Winslow and like a Gorgon Dragic and maybe like a first round pick or something like that. Or if Miami, they already said he's off limits, but if you can go get like a Tyler Hero, that might be the move that Toronto might need to make. And they're just like the rest of their team. Like I like Gasol. I like Serge Ibaka coming off the bench, being that rim protecting stretch big for him. I like Norman Powell. Solid guy. Or does he? I don't know if he starts or if he comes off the bench. I think they brought him off the bench. No, I think they started him. OG Anunoby, he's back. I like him a lot. Lockdown defender. I think he's going to get better. He's hurt last year, so I think he'll get better. That Toronto team is solid, man. That Toronto team is really solid. Now, I don't think they're a championship caliber team no longer without Kawhi Leonard. I think he pushed the edge for them. But even so, I still think that they would be, if I had to pick right now, I think they'll be the 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. And then plus on top of that, Nick Nurse. I don't think he gets enough credit. He's one of the better head coaches in the league. Hands down. Yeah, the adjustments he's able to make on the fly. Like when he went into that box and won in the finals against the Warriors, give him a completely different look. That shit fucked the Warriors up. They didn't what the hell's going on? They couldn't do shit with it. What coach did that? When was the last time you seen a box and win in the NBA? Shout out to Nick Nurse, man. Shout out to the guy. Coaches don't get enough love. Coaches can literally make or break a team. They honestly can. This brings me to Boston. Now, with me picking Toronto over Boston as a 3 seed, I don't think Boston's a bad team. I just think they're missing something. I like the Kimball addition over to replace Kyrie. I think ultimately he had a bad game his first game, but I think he bounces back and I think he'll be good. He'll be better later on. Gordon Hayward looked good. He looks back. Gordon Hayward looks like the Utah version of Gordon Hayward. So hopefully that leg injury that he had, that gruesome leg injury that he had, is behind him and he's fully back. Tatum, we'll see with him. Like he showed a little bit more aggression. He was shooting them shots. We will see if he gets better. Like the progression, he has to continue. He has to continue to get better. I think like people kind of put too much stock on him and kind of hyped him up to be better than what he is. You know what I mean? And I think it came from that playoff series, his rookie season against that playoffs, the playoffs in general. He looked really good. He was balling in that playoffs. Like, he fucked us up. The Celtics beat the shit out of us in 5 games 2 years ago. Last year he took a step back, and I think they kind of put it on Kyrie coming back and Kyrie being a ball stopper and flow of the offense kind of stopped and, blase. I just took it as like he kind of regressed. He just, he wasn't as good as he was the year before. This year, we'll see. This is a make or break year for me with Tatum in terms of, is he going to be that star player where you can build your team around? Or is he just going to be one of the, a guy that can be your 3rd or 4th best player in a championship team? There's nothing bad with that. He's not going to have a bad career. I think he's a guy that can average, 16 points, 17 points. But I don't know if he can be your best player. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, the Celtics, for me, they're a solid team overall. Like, the idea of the Celtics work. I think they just got to kind of have some time together to build that chemistry. And then also get a big man, because Cantor sucks. Shout out to my Celtics fans, man. If y'all listening right now, Cantor sucks. He's not good at all. He's not good. I'm sorry. He's not a good center. He'll get you a couple offensive rebounds. He'll talk some shit. He'll get players frustrated. But he is going to get killed by Embiid every time they play. Although Embiid had a rough game this last game, but don't expect that. Don't expect more of that. Like the Horford and Bynes loss, that combination, like the Kyrie loss, they was able to replace that. Like you're going to get similar production from Kemba that you did with Kyrie. Obviously, Kyrie is a better player in my opinion, but Kemba can still do a lot of the shit that Kyrie did. They don't have anybody to replace Horford or Baines on top of that. Like that, those losses right there, that kind of fucked up that Celtics team. It just fucks up their defense in general. I read a report or I heard something. I don't know where I heard it from, but it was like, Brad Stevens, majority of what he did on defense started with Horford because he had Horford on his team. Because Horford was such a elite defensive player. Now you don't have that no more. Now you're relying on fucking Enes Kanter as your big man, as your rim protector. You're relying on Daniel Theis, however you pronounce his name. Dude is 6'7", trying to play center, checking monstrous centers in the East. Robert Williams, crazy bounce. He had a nice block on Ben Simmons as well in that game. He's young. He's not ready yet. Young guy. They got Taco Fall in the G League. Maybe they bring him up eventually when he's ready. Maybe that might help. But I think ultimately the Celtics need to make a trade for a center. I think they need to go and try to go get Steven Adams, Sabonis from Indiana. They need to go try to get somebody, Miles Turner, see if he's available. Because what they have right now is not going to work. But the Celtics get a center, if they can get like a Steven Adams, that team's going to be scary. That team, I wouldn't want to play them. But right now, as currently constructed, nah, they don't do it for me. 4th seed, 2nd round exit. The other teams in the East, like there's a couple of teams that I enjoy, like Miami. I like Miami. I think Miami can be a very good team with Jimmy Butler when he returns. Whatever, I don't know what happened with him missing the opener. Kelly Olynyk, decent player. I like Bam Adebayo a lot. I was hoping that we could have kind of swung him in the trade when we traded Jimmy before Josh Richardson, but Tyler Hero. That is my dark horse pick for Rookie of the Year. That boy is a bucket. I was hoping the Sixers would be able to draft him in his past draft, but I'm happy with Matisse. Don't get me wrong, but I like Tyler Hero a lot, man. He got game. He's able to get that shot off. He's able to break down his defender and shoot threes like that. And he's a walking bucket, man. He's a walking bucket. I think ultimately he gets into the Snyder lineup, and I think he's going to be a dark horse candidate for Rookie of the Year. Him, Ja Morant, people like that. But yeah, Miami, they're one of those teams I think they can probably be like anywhere from 5 to 3. I wouldn't be surprised if they was able to get that 3 seed, 4 seed, 5 seed, whatever. Indiana, when they get Oladipo back, I think they'll be a very competitive team. Although they still don't like Oladipo, like that leg injury, that knee injury, whatever it was something that like is very rare. Like when it happened, I was like, man, what the hell happened to him? Like, he got what? Okay, I don't know about that, but yeah. So Indiana, Detroit. I like Derrick Rose. Detroit's looking all right. I think ultimately they'll get into the playoffs. They won't. I won't expect them to make any noise or nothing like that. But that when they get Blake Griffin back, I think they'll be a very competitive team. I can see them winning 40 to 42 games. I can see that happening. 43 maybe. One of my teams that I like a lot, and I think I'm going to pick them to get into the playoffs, even if it's like a 7th or 8th seed. The Atlanta Hawks. I like that team a lot, man. I like that team a lot. They're one of my favorite young teams to watch. That's another one of my league pass teams. By the way, before I go too deep into the Atlanta Hawks, side note, question for you guys. I want you to think about this. How do you watch basketball? Think about that for a minute. How do you watch it? Because obviously, like, what I mean by that is, like, okay, you follow your favorite team. If you have a favorite team, you follow that team most likely. Or if you have a favorite player, you follow that player or that player's team. How else do you watch basketball? Like for me, like, obviously, if the Sixers game is on, I'm watching that over any type of other game. But then there's other teams where if they're playing and the Sixers aren't playing, I'm probably going to go watch that team. Like Atlanta's one of those teams for me. If Zion was healthy with the Pelicans would be one of those teams for me. I think the Clippers are going to be one of those teams where, and it's easy for them because they're a West Coast team and they typically have like 10 o'clock games. So the Clippers are going to be one of those teams. I think I'm going to be watching like actual games, not just highlights. And that's the one thing. It's impossible to watch highlights or full games of every team. It's impossible. Like LeBron said the other day, I watch every game when we're not playing. No, you don't. You can't. You can't watch every game. Even if you got split screens on all of them, you're not watching every game. You can have every game on. You can tune in and out to every game, but you're not watching every game. You're not paying attention to every game. It's impossible. You can't do that. Like people be lying about that shit. Like, what are you lying for? You can't watch every game. It's impossible. Unless you cloned yourself or some shit. You can fucking use after image or some shit. Or, Piccolo's technique. But still, doesn't work. But, yeah, man, that's my question for y'all. How do y'all watch basketball? Think about that. But anyways, Atlanta. The Atlanta Hawks. I like that team a lot. Trae Young. He's him. Trae Young is him, man. The Steph Curry comparisons, and I think what people do is it's like, yeah, I don't want to compare him to Steph Curry because Steph Curry is the all-time great. By the way, that Michael Jordan comment, Steph Curry is in the Hall of Fame. Shut the fuck up. Shut your old ass up. I'm tired of these fucking old heads just making fucking outrageous statements just because. Are you insecure about some shit or what? Yeah, you can have your own opinion, sure. All right, fine. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. He's the greatest shooter of all time. Man has won 3 rings. He's breaking records. The fuck are you talking about? He's a Hall of Famer. Stop it, Jordan. God damn. Anyways, the Steph Curry comparisons with Trae Young. I mean, I'm not going to say he's Steph Curry, but I can see why they compare him. Like that man has in the gym range. You have to guard him as soon as he crosses half court. The man is pulling from logos. He's pulling from the logo in the center of the court. 45, 50 feet. Good. Cash. Green. Bean. Green light. Range extender. Hall of Fame. And on top of that, he's quick as shit. Can get to the bucket at any point. And he finishes with both hands. And on top of that, the man has excellent court vision. He creates offense for his players. He makes scoring opportunities for other players on his team easy. Trae Young is him, man. He's coming. He is coming. I like him. Obviously, he's not a great defender. He just gets his size. He's a miniature guy. He's little. He's like, what, maybe 6 feet? $160, $170, soaking wet maybe? Little dude. He has to find that niche on defense. Like, usually little guys like that, you got to find your niche. Like, you're not going to be able to man up on people. That's not going to work. But if he can get into those passing lanes and get steals to create defense that way, just be a disruptive player, that's how he's going to be effective on defense. But offensively, he's elite, man. He's on the cusp of elite. I like him a lot. I like the pairing with John Collins. I like John Collins a lot. Stretch the floor, can knock down open threes. He showed me a couple of post moves the last season and also yesterday's game. I was watching the Hawks game before Houston came on. And on top of that, he's an excellent rebounder. He's going to battle on those boards. I like the what's his name, Herter. I like him a lot. Excellent 3-point shooter. Very, I don't have like a player comparison for him, I would say, but his game is nice. Like, he's underrated athleticism. Like, you see him go and attack the rim and dunk. It's like, damn, where the fuck did that come from? Explode too. Very underrated athleticism. I like Herter, Kevin Herter. And then I like the